I am so excited because we are starting out with a topic that has fascinated humans for a long time. Dinosaurs. So we have Jenna from the Denver Museum of Nature and Science. She's here to take us on a prehistoric journey. Hi, Jenna.
Hi, how's it going?
Thank you for being here.
Thank
Okay,
you.
before we start, I have to just tell you, my nephew is obsessed with dinosaurs, so he is going to love this segment. So first, before we get into the whole exhibition, why do you think people of all ages are obsessed with dinosaurs? Why?
That is so true. And I think it's because they're like this mythical being that actually existed.
Like real.
Real thing that were so big, bigger than life, and so different than anything we have today. Although we're gonna dive into some of those secrets and learn about how they actually are kind of similar to animals we have.
Ooh, okay, so let's start talking about the exhibition you have going on right now. Tell me all about it.
So this exhibit is called The World's Largest Dinosaurs. It is about the biggest of the big dinosaurs. So that's talking about our sauropods, the ones with the long necks, the long tails, and just everything about them. How did they get so big and how did they live?
Okay, cool. Now it sounds like we'll all learn a lot walking through this, but give us a little bit of a tease. What's a fact that surprised you the first time you went through the exhibit?
Yeah, so actually looking at these specimens that I brought here, one of the things that I thought was so cool is that we can look to modern day birds to better understand these giant dinosaurs.
Okay.
And their bones are actually pretty similar, meaning that they had all of these little spaces in between their bones. So this is one of our dinosaur bones. And then over here is an ostrich bone. And we can see all those little spaces, and they're actually really, really similar.
Okay, let me ask you this. Will visitors be able to touch the things the bones as they come through?
Yeah, so they will be able to touch these when they come through. This is part of one of our volunteer carts, so they can talk to someone about it. And there's a lot of fun interactives in this exhibit where you get to feel like what it might have felt like to pump blood through a whole sauropod using a bicycle pump. You can lift up their bones to feel how big they are, and then there's a lot that you get to see.
Okay, that's super cool. Real quick, tell me about this guy over here.
So this is the vertebra, and so that's a neck bone of a giraffe. And we can see how giraffes had really long necks, or have really long necks, similar to the sauropods.
Okay.
But their bones are actually really different. They're super, super dense, and they're much heavier, which means that they actually can't ever get quite as big as our sauropods.
Okay, that's very cool. I'm very into this. Okay, who should come and see the exhibition? Is it for all ages? Is there an age limit?
Like you said, everyone's interested in dinosaurs, so this exhibit is really for everyone. And there is something to learn, even if you're not a dinosaur person. Like I said, it talks about other animals, how to compare them. So whether you love dinosaurs, you're still learning and trying to figure them out, this exhibit is for you.
Okay, Jenna, let's talk a little bit more about this bone we have in the middle. What are these blue things in here?
Yeah, so this is a 3D print that we took of a bone, and we painted it blue on the inside to show really well those air sacs. So yeah, there's a lot of holes in it, and that allowed their bones to be really, really light, so they could get really big without being so heavy.
Like
and weighed
compacted.
down.
That is crazy. Okay, how does that relate to maybe what they eat, or what they did eat rather?
Yeah, so these dinosaurs were herbivores, so eating lots of plants. And in this exhibit, you can see just how much they had to eat in a day to survive.
Oh, that's so cool.
So much, and their long necks help them do that. So they didn't have to expend a lot of energy. They can kind of stand in one place and then move their head around and just eat off the branches.
Oh, like I said before, I'm very into this. Let's talk tickets. How do we get them?
Yeah, so all of our tickets are on DMNS.org, and so this does require a special ticket, so you can get general admission as well as the World's Largest Dino exhibit.
Okay, so yeah, that was going to be my next question. Let's say we go through the World's Largest Dino exhibit. Are we able to still go through the museum, the rest of the exhibits, and everything else going on in the museum? There's so many things you guys do there. My nephew loves it so much. We go at least once a month. So are there other things? Can we get in there and do other things with the admission?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So yeah, with general admission, you can see the rest of the museum, and actually included with tickets right now is our Changing Landscapes, another temporary exhibit that we have here until January 3rd. So that is all about, you get to walk through Venice and Rapa Nui, as well as Mesa Verde. So we have a Colorado connection there, and learn about how our changing climate is changing these places.
And I also know you're making big updates to the GEM area of the museum. I love that, so I'm very excited about that. I think we're good here. I think I wanted to talk to you. Colleen, did you have something else? Yeah. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the heart and the blood. Can you see that through what we're looking at here?
Not through these bones, but in the exhibit, there are some really big pieces and displays. So you can see what it looked like for the blood to pump through the body.
Right.
One of the main centerpieces of this exhibit is a 60-foot recreation of a Mamenchisaurus. And so super long, super big, and it talks about blood, it talks about how it ate, there's a projection onto it. And what's so cool about that is that its neck was 30 feet long, so half of its length.
Okay, this is insane. I'm so excited. Thank you for being here today, Jenna. World's Largest Dinosaurs is on display now at the Denver Museum of Nature and Science. Go check it out. It'll be here until September 7th, so you definitely have some time. You can get tickets now at DMNS.org.